All right, we have some ticket texts. They're pretty good ones. I'd like you guys to answer them. I haven't heard anything good about Goff, but he made critical throws into tiny windows repeatedly on third downs. He made throws that only the best quarterbacks can make into spots only our guy could get. Goff is solid. He was yesterday, that for damn sure.
He did what he did what the game needed him to do yesterday. They needed him to not turn the ball over, manage the offense, and just have one of those games where put us in the end zone, make a couple good throws, keep the chains moving. I thought he played that type. It wasn't the type of game that you needed him to go throw 40, 45 times and say, Jared, we need you. This game's on your back. It wasn't that type of game. And, certainly, yes. I mean, he is who he is, right? There's always going to be a couple plays every game where you're just like, oh, man. There was one early where Jameson was on a crossing route, wide open, probably would have scored a 70-yard touchdown. Goff just never saw him. Took a little bit of a deeper shot and just barely missed Josh Reynolds over off the tip of his hands, right? But that throw he made to end that game, that's a gutsy throw. That is a very easy situation for a quarterback when you're saying, okay, it's 3rd and 8. We're throwing the ball. If it's not there, just take a sack, right? Yeah. We don't want to do anything stupid. We can't force the ball. We can't turn it over. The way he kind of moved to his left, took a shot, and just kind of one-hand, lob pass it.
Didn't short arm it.
Yeah, and just got it to Reynolds. I thought that was an incredibly gutsy throw. I did. And I thought that's an admirable part about this team is the way that when they do have leads in games, this offense closes it out.
Yes.
They say, you know what? We're not putting this back on our defense. Guys, this is our chance to go, make the statement and ultimately get in that victory formation and get out of here with the win. This offense has been able to do that. And Jared Goff has been really, really good in those situations, and he was yesterday.
And I think if you look at the remainder of the schedule, the only game where I think you could say, well, maybe he's going to go out and have to do more than just be reliable or be a game manager is probably, in Dallas. Mm-hmm. And even at that one, if you simply go out and don't turn the ball over at the quarterback position, I think you give yourself the best odds to beat the Bears, the Broncos, and the Vikings twice.
Look how many points Dallas gave up to Seattle Thursday night. Is Jordan Love going to haunt us for years like Rodgers and Favre did? He's on fire right now and looked pretty damn good last night. I can't get through another decade of Green Bay owning us. Yes, in his last 3 games, 8 touchdowns, no interceptions.
He's playing better.
Yeah, he's playing a lot better. Mm-hmm. He is. He's making some really good throws, too.
Right. And he knows his receivers. He can throw them up high, and those guys can get him.
Yeah.
Couldn't help but laugh watching Jamo's touchdown, watching how fast he really is.
he was flying. I was watching the replay last night when I got home. He jumped from like the 5-yard line and ended halfway in the end zone.
Into the end zone.
That's 30 feet. You know what I mean? That's 10 yards. That's 30 feet. He was he's a weapon, man. It was good to see him finally get the ball without like a penalty being called.
Right, yeah. Something finally pay off. He gets in the end zone, especially running the ball as a touchdown. But to just watch the pure speed. And everybody's like, oh, he was untouched.
Yeah.
Part of the reason he was untouched is everybody was taking the wrong angle. I don't think they understood how fast he was. Now that they do, the angle's going to be the 1-yard line.
And I'm telling you, however fast he looks on TV, he is faster in person. It is a flash.
Lions defense is rapidly becoming an oxymoron. I know Aaron Glenn is Campbell's buddy, but he needs to go. Well, we talked about this earlier. They're trying a lot of different stuff, and a lot of it is the players just aren't that good.
Yeah. Well,
they're not horrible.
They're not good. They're not the same level to be able to cover your top receivers in the league one-on-one.
Exactly. Right. It's not fair to ask some of their guys to say, hey, you're on the number one from this team. You're Olave. On DJ Moore the whole game. You're on Olave the whole game, one-on-one, lock him down. It's not fair. You don't have guys to do that yet.
Giving the ball to Montgomery up the middle at the 10 is getting old. Teams are catching on.
Well, you have to be able to run the ball in the red zone. The passing's hard down there. Everything's so compact and so tight. But more creative ways to try to get him the ball, I guess. But I don't have an issue trying to run the ball inside the 10.
You have other weapons to be creative with. We just talked about the reverse to Jamo, and I know that wasn't on the 10-yard line, but you have that weapon. You've got Laporta. You've got Gibbs. You've got other weapons that you can be creative with, but you still have to be able to have the threat of running between the tackles.
Were you guys kind of disappointed with the share out of the backfield yesterday? I know Montgomery had 18 touches and Gibbs only had 8. And Gibbs had 60 yards on those 8 touches. Right. Montgomery had 56 on the 18. Felt like maybe it was just one of those games where, like I said, it kind of changed when you got up 3 scores and said, hey, we're just going to try to, take our 2, 3, 4 yards and
where I
keep the
don't
clock
like
going.
the share is I think they could use Gibbs a lot more in the passing game coming out of the backfield. I think creates unique matchups that you could take advantage of, and they threw
like
the ball
Saints
twice.
do to Kamara.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you put him in situations, whether it's you're flipping him the ball, you're throwing him the ball. I think there's just a lot of different ways. It's not the touches out of the backfield. I think it's the total touches for me.
Jack Campbell would be a great 70s linebacker, not in today's game.
Oh, you mean one of the most athletic linebackers in the NFL? I mean, he literally is.
I know.
Yeah.
Reading the text.
Guys, we go through this every year with rookies.
I know.
We did it last year with Aiden Hutchinson, right? They're getting better.
Yeah. Not everybody comes into the league like Laporta.
Just lights it on fire.
Here we go. Seems our offensive coordinator chokes when we get in the red zone. Wide open play calls until we get to the 10.
Well, you have a wide open field. Things get a little bit dicey and very compact, like TJ just said. Once you get inside the 10-yard line, instead of you're packing 22 dudes into 20 yards.
You're seeing how these people are seeing highlight videos of a lot of guys wide open, but you don't see them play every
I
week
got some
and every
snacks
play.
for you. I don't know if you saw those. I got some fudge for you.
Dude, awesome.
You know where it's from?
Where?
It's from Uranus.
Wait, what?
There's a general store on the way to Indianapolis
Called Uranus.
Uh-huh.
And they sell fudge.
Yep. And as soon as you go in there,
That's genius. That's brilliant
They pack it
marketing.
real tight. We'll finish it off. We'll close.
Like a big log or little chunks?
little.